Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Abnormality. I'm Chris.
Big Tony?
Kent.
How's it going tonight? So, if you've been watching the show, we kind of made our way doing a little bit of banter, a little bit back and forth about some that kind of touch home for us. So, tonight, guys, I want to bring up one subject that I think we can all kind of talk about and go over, and that's the perception of ghost hunting nowadays. So, Tony, what do you think the perception of a paranormal investigator is nowadays?
Well, I think it's a little more socially acceptable. I mean, years ago, 10, 15 years ago, everyone kind of looked at us like we were weird. You bring up seeing something in the closet or a door shutting, or, they looked at you like you were a nut job. And I think it's become more prevalent today, and people are more aware of it. So it's a little bit easier to talk about it openly instead of just being something that's talked about with your friends.
I agree, and being somebody who's done this for 10 years, and Kent, I think you can kind of go off of this. When we first started, it was kind of like a rock star mentality. You're a ghost hunter. Oh, that's awesome. You're doing really cool work. You're doing awesome stuff. And then everybody started becoming a ghost hunter.
Yeah, like
and
a cool thing.
I mean, from there, it kind of just spoiled everything that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it realistically did. With everybody pretty much deciding they were going to go out and start their own crew, people got inundated with the amount of crews out there and the attention that every crew wanted, and then the media got involved with all these ghost hunter shows on TV, and people were just, they became numb.
Yeah.
Well, then you have a rash of vandalism from ghost hunters. Because, back in the day, you had to build your credibility. You had to go through, some high-level businesses, go through there, get some, good names on your resume, and that's kind of what carried you over to the next job that you did. And then you start getting phone calls, going into people's homes and other businesses. Now it seems like any jerk with a, DVR voice recorder and a camera can go out to a cemetery and be a self-proclaimed ghost hunter. And I think those are the guys that kind of ruin the perception because they have no knowledge of the field. They have no knowledge of what they're dealing with. And they have no care as far as, destroying property and that type of stuff.
Yeah. And they're throwing it on YouTube and stuff like that so much that you can just type in ghost and get hundreds of thousands of hits of guys just like that are hitting graveyards and, filming tombstones swearing that they're seeing stuff.
Right. Well, one of the worst things I ever saw, and Kent, you actually want to show me this video. It was a video of the old Fairview Training Center. We all know Fairview. We're all familiar with that place. Mm-hmm. And it was this group of guys that were ghost hunters, and the video they shot was in night vision. They were in one of the buildings in the far back, and they're roasting a bull. Like, they're just sitting there filming themselves in Fairview roasting a bull. To me, that is like the ultimate disrespect. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it hurts the name of it. People are just out there being idiots.
Yeah.
Smoking a bowl, and all of a sudden they see stuff walking around, and I'm sure bag of chips and Doritos, and they see all kinds of stuff.
That's just it. You're like Tony said, you're disrespecting it. You're disrespecting the industry. And if that's your one claim to fame, then you should probably disappear.
Well, you look at, okay, so you want to talk about claims to fame. This brings up something that's very near and dear to my heart. You talk about the industry. So we've got two really big access points in this industry that kind of are the pinnacle of what we do. And that is TAPS, and that is Ghost Adventures. I remember when TAPS first started, they had a little bit of a reputation. They were reputable. They still had a little bit of integrity left, and then they ruined it. Ghost Adventures, on the other hand, I think has put the biggest crap fest of a perception on ghost hunting because they're the guys, bro, it's a demon, man. And they're actors. They're not people that are in the field to try to gain knowledge or try to prove or disprove. They're actors.
Yeah. So what do you said about TAPS? You think what they do to mess it up?
Well, TAPS, see, the thing I used to love about TAPS was that TAPS would go into people's houses and they would try to help them out. Kind of do what we do, which is go in there and try to give them an idea of what we do and try to make them more comfortable.
Okay.
But then you could tell they went in for ratings after that. Because if you film an actual ghost hunt, which you guys will see at some point when we do it, they're not walking through the gates of hell, and all this cool stuff. It's 6 hours of boredom. You sit there with a voice recorder in your camera, you talk to yourself, you take pictures in the dark, all that type of stuff. So it's not this high profile thing. So you could tell these people from when they went from that, especially with TAPS 10 years ago, when they were doing that, and then you could see the pull for ratings where they started to switch stuff up and, dare I say, started forging evidence.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've noticed about TAPS is it's like any other show out there. As the series and the seasons go on, eventually your TV companies are more, like you said, more interested in the ratings. So now you got to start figuring out, okay, how can we get more ratings when we've been doing this for 13 years and still keep the attention? And then you got Ghost Adventures that makes everything so exciting and scary.
Right.
When realistically they're sitting in a dark prison that hasn't been opened in 80 years.
With face makeup.
Yeah.
That's a lot of makeup. Have you seen that, dude?
They rock the faux hawk, Tony. They rock the faux hawk.
I mean,
Yeah, but I can rock the faux hawk, and I'm not going to wear the face makeup and the eyeliner and all
I
that.
think you wear the tight affliction T-shirts when we go to the next investigations.
Oh, no, I don't do anything tight. Not in this one, But
I
yeah.
mean-
And I think with taps, too, it's like when I used to watch it years ago, even the guys that were the ones that started all that work are starting to go their separate ways.
Right.
You know, and then they've gone overseas and they've got people doing it. And so the people that were passionate about it, that really started it, you know, that was cool. The Roto-Rooter guys. You get a phone call and, you know, he's digging in the crapper and he's like, oh, we got to go. Grab the vans, let's roll. Right. And it was cool. People were passionate about it and they liked watching it. But I agree that it got to that point where, you know, even the founders were kind of like doing their own thing, like, I'm over it.
Well, that's the thing is like we go into a place. I mean, what are the things that we do? We go in there, we get the location that we're going to, whether it's a house or a business, cemetery, wherever, and we do our homework. We research the land, the home, the previous owners, all the stuff that's happened there. And to me, that's one of the most exciting portions of an investigation is.
And that's how it was in the beginning for a lot of these shows.
But then you can see the perception in that change because they used to do like montages. Remember, it was montages of like looking through stuff and their case managers doing stuff and this, that, and the other. And then now they're just like, I'm digging through the crapper. Okay, we got to go to Eastern State Pen. Oh, that's good, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you lose that passion. If I got a call today, and with all the places I've hunted, it's like, okay, you're going to Eastern State Pen. I'm gonna, like a little girl, I'm gonna be yee, and then fly out to the car and go, you know, to be able to hunt something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's even like with Ghost Adventures, their first couple seasons, they were all about the investigation, digging up the research, going to history, going to archives, and doing all that. Now they spend 45 minutes of the hour talking.
Well,
and recreating.
And
they don't-
15 minutes of investigation. It's like, really?
Then they don't even do the research. I mean, they've got teams of people that just kind of, they show up, here's your script, go.
My favorite was a clip that I think was like one of the behind the scenes things, or I don't know if I saw it on YouTube or on something else. They walk up to a location, these guys did, they knocked on the door to people to go into it, and the guy was like, no, you can't be here. And it was one of those things where you could totally tell that the production crew had not been there first to cut the check to him, to be like, here's your money for letting us in here.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, yeah, until I get the money, you guys aren't welcome here. So they had to call the production crew. They came down and had to write the check and get it to them. But it just shows that this field has become all about money. Even locations. I mean, my God, even locations.
Yeah.
How many locations do we have now that are like, okay, you can come in here and hunt, but we want $7,000.
Yeah.
Because they know there's a market for it now. I mean, Ghost Adventures and Taps set that bar so high that crews like us, we can't do that right now. We don't have sci-fi or travel or A&E or Discovery backing us.
Yeah.
Yet. Keep that in mind.
Way better, we got CCTV.
That's right.
And William Becker.
And William Becker.
Than William Becker. Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, the way it's changed. I don't think I've seen an episode for quite a while. I think that my passion for it and the enjoyment that I get out of it, I get to do it here in this form.
Well, a lot of it is because, to me, at least, it's the chemistry of the people that you bring with you, the guys and the gals that you bring out in the field with you, and that chemistry, because again, they become your family. But the thing that kills me the most is that we built ourselves on a reputable, you know, just awesome client and ghost hunting just reputation, and then now you look at it and people just they don't care.
No.
It doesn't matter that we've hunted, you know, this place or that place or that place. We just want your money.
Yeah.
And that's the part that really gets to me, because it used to be we were sought after, and now it's like you have to almost do a sales pitch to be able to help somebody out.
Start a resume and get references and everything else, instead of just doing a service and helping us because it's something we enjoy.
Right. And that's just the thing, is that people, these flash in the pan. That's another thing. We've been around for 11 years in June. 11 years, and that's a long time in the ghost hunting world, because you have these crews that pop up for a year, they get big egos, and then poof, they break apart.
Yeah.
And then you've got, from that one cell, you now have 4 cells, and there were 4 bad ghost hunters in that group, so those 4 break apart. Now you've got 4 other cells of bad ghost hunting groups that pop up, and so forth, so on. And it becomes this rash of vandalism, of no knowledge of the field, of nothing. And it makes it so difficult to do what we do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what we covered on the last episode. Of those 4 bad cells, you've got at least 2 that are going to go chasing that demonic hunt.
Right.
Not knowing anything about it, not knowing what they're looking at. I mean,
Well, they're looking for the thrill. They're not looking for the research and the science and the things that go with it.
And when that entity decides to reach up inside you, now you've got your thrill.
I think you just escalated the rating of the show right there, man.
Up inside you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
can go ahead and skip those.
So totally, I'm going to bring up a story real quick. I know we're talking about perception of ghost hunting. We're going to get back to this.
Lord.
We're going to get back to this really quick. It's just a funny story because Kent brought this up. So it was
Good
around.
time to run to the fridge and get a snack.
It was around June 6, 2006. So 666. and we were chilling. It was a bunch of us, and we were hanging out. We were having like a little hot tub party, having a couple drinks, just hanging out. That was a ghost hunting crew. And one of Kent's friends, what was his name?
Tim.
A thunderstorm started out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere. The clouds came in, and as you know, cold air, hot. Anyway, thunderstorm starts.
Yeah, I know what a thunderstorm is.
And this guy stops.
He
dead
senses
center.
it 20 minutes before we get it.
What?
What?
A thunderstorm, you sense it 20 minutes before we see
Oh,
it.
because he's tall. Aha!
Anyways,
Yeah, a good 5 minutes on you. I'll tell you when it's raining.
You proved that last week.
I
So,
did. It was raining, and 5 minutes later, sure enough.
Yeah, we felt that first drop, and then 7 stories later, it finally hit us.
I feel bad for you. I don't think you're ever going to grow either.
I'm
think you're done.
I'm short, man. Dude, I've got friends, Kent, Daniel. I've got all these friends that, like, I was the small one of the group, so I'm not, like, that worried about it. But to see these big guys next to you, it's just like,
Well, they talk about you when you're not around about how short you are.
well, that's totally fine with me.
I apologize. The story. We're getting sidetracked.
Go home.
squirrel.
The guy, hot tub up in him in the
Yeah,
thunderstorm.
so what was he said? He stops and he grabs his stomach.
Yeah, he stands up and jumps out of the hot tub all of a sudden and starts grabbing his stomach, saying there's a demon reaching up inside of him.
It's a 7-Eleven chili dog, I bet.
At this moment, me and Chris had a couple of drinks and lost it. We couldn't even fathom what to say next, and he kept going with it because he thought we were legitimately believing it.
We were like concerned for like his bowels. Like
I seriously looked at him and I was like, I think you just need to go to the bathroom,
He's
bro.
a friend, and you just kind of left him hanging like
Yeah,
that.
pretty much.
And then
Maybe
we never
he
talked
really
to him
had
again.
something up in there. You probably should have checked it out.
Not gonna happen.
No.
No.
We're not Roto-Rooter. We don't. That's not something we play.
So I've heard some guys start that way.
Do what you do,
All
right?
up in there and get that phone call. Got to go. Hang tight. I'll be right back.
Leave the
Well,
camera up
imagine
when
being
they...
like the homeowner of that person. Like, you have a Roto-Rooter here. They're doing a job for you, and they get a phone call. It's like, oh, we gotta go now. Bye.
Turns half out. I got to roll. See ya. There's a ghost. A little more important.
I'll be back.
That would kind of suck, just a lot.
You know, and that would be tough too, because you bet Roto-Rooter was probably billing them out a lot more than they were getting paid for what they were doing on TV.
Well, I think they own their
But
route.
it kind of worked out for them.
Yeah, true, because they had a lot of publicity. Yeah, hoping the guy that comes through in a Roto-Rooter uniform can hunt for ghosts. Can you get that turd out of the toilet, and then, by the way, there's a demon upstairs. Can you go deal with that as well?
Hey, 2-for-1 deal. It's not a bad deal. Whichever one bills out at the highest, that's what we're going to charge you for. The other one's free. It's not a bad idea.
Again, it falls to the perception of ghost hunting. It's become literally that, a joke.
I'm not into the whole Roto-Rooter, but maybe we could like get our own FedEx route and just like be door to door delivering packages and be like,
DHL and SP.
Can we deliver the Craigslist ghost?
I think we should get the Craigslist ghost.
Okay, do we
$1,000.
really have to talk about the Craigslist ghost?
We do.
I've been thinking about this week, $1,000 for a good ghost.
But how do we? What's like the star rating?
Give
on
me
this
like a
ghost?
30-day money-back guarantee so I can drive back and give it to them. But I want to see a ghost in it. I mean, that's cool. I mean, how many times do people come to your house and you're like, hey, did you hear I have a ghost in the trunk over here? Check it out. And you pull it up and it jumps out.
That's a pretty cool party favor. I'm not gonna lie. Like the ghost in the trunk.
$1,000. We could all have everybody throw some money in and we just have it week here, week there. We just kind of roll it around.
So we'd be like foster parents to a ghost?
Yeah, just kind of hang, like
So
taking
we're
care of
gonna
the
have a
egg in
custody
high
agreement
school.
over a ghost
Yes.
on
Just kind of
Craigslist.
pass it around. I think it's a great idea.
No.
No?
It's a good price. You go overseas, like we said before. You go overseas, that's going to be a lot more money.
It's like cross-dressing Grim Reapers. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, I still believe that one.
You do.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't believe that.
I know Ken does.
It
Look
all,
on Ken's face.
it all goes back to people just trying to get their name out there and trying to be cool and get people to watch.
How?
They're looking for their own niche in the world.
I
don't know
no
where the
words
thought
to say how this is
process-
a niche. Like that's like the first of its kind. So I guess you're breaking up with the market. I guess you could say
Something shocking. It's got to be weird. You got to have people pay attention because if somebody types in Grim Reaper, there's going to be a million hits. But cross-dressing Grim Reaper, I mean, that's got to.
That's got to hit 10.
If you're on Google, I mean, you got to go straight to that one because Google's like, dude, we got to put this number one. That's got to go.
that. New Mexico, weird place.
Yeah, New Mexico's a little bit crazy.
A little bit.
It's that opium.
Yeah, on opium and trying to spell Albuquerque. It just never ends well. I still can't spell it.
Try it.
No, I can't
Can't
spell
try
it.
it.
Athletic scholarship, not academic.
F.O. Sachi.
F.O. Sachi. It sounds about right to me.
I hate you guys so
I would
much.
have written it down.
All right, so let's get back on the train of thought about again back to the perception of ghost hunting. How do you guys think that we can, as a crew, repair the image of ghost hunters today?
I think the proof is in the pudding. You go out there, you act professional and give good customer service. Know your facts when you're going in, do your research. Treat them with respect and, don't walk out leaving a mess and stuff laid around. Be as professional as possible.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing also is don't bash other crews. I mean, yeah, we all have our differences. We all have our tactics. But the one thing I'm noticing is people these crews are bashing this crew, and the public sees that, and they're like, well, I don't want civil war in my house, so.
See, that's another thing. You want to talk
Way to
about
stab me right there in the heart.
perception and ghost hunting. You want to talk about that. The one thing I cannot stand, this is the absolute one thing I cannot stand, is that it's okay to have your personal opinions on stuff, behind closed doors. If we're all sitting somewhere having a beer, talking about stuff, that's one thing. But when you go on a public forum, whether it be TV, Facebook, or whatever, and you bash somebody intentionally, there's something wrong with that. Because any other field, like the field of medicine, for example, you have doctors all over the place. They don't compete with each other to try to, be the best doctor in the field.
Or have their name on that cure.
In their field. They share everything. Everything is like, okay, well, we just found this cure for cancer. Okay, well, let's bring it over here. And our field should be the same way. The industry that we're in should have the exact same thing. To go and publicly bash somebody, no matter how close or not close you are with this person, just shows the lack of respect that people have. Para-unity is the one thing that if we want to really get in this topic, we can seriously go into para-unity, I don't mind. But it really, really, really makes me mad because so many people preach para-unity and then turn around and act the complete opposite. In this field, in this industry, we should all be in it for the exact same purposes, which is trying to prove or disprove the existence of anything paranormal. Not bashing each other for how we go there. If you don't like somebody, like in life, don't like them, move on, don't worry about it. Don't sit there and try to play a victim. Don't sit there and try to bash them and make their credibility look weak. Don't sit there and try to make them seem like a less person than you because whatever reason. If you don't like somebody, you don't like them. Leave it at that.
It's going to hurt them in the long run anyway. Just keep doing what you're doing.
It's just,
we made it a point, and that's the one thing I love about
I think we should get the doctors like bashing each other on Facebook. I think it would be funny. One doctor like, oh, dude, he doesn't know how to do heart surgery. That dude's an idiot. Don't go see him. I'm a way better cardio surgeon.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you don't see these campaigns, these complete bashing each other campaigns.
It's like a gang of doctors.
Yeah.
We got like blue scrubs. That's how we roll. You don't want to go see those guys.
And that's the thing.
But if I ever see them on the street, it's on.
But with us, you could start a project, leave a project, come back to a project. Like, for example, Kent left SP for a couple years, right? He went out and did his own thing.
No one's perfect.
He spread his wings to go and fly, and whatever it is he did.
And I fell flat on my face.
That kind of happens. Yeah. But he never bashed. He never talked any kind of smack. He was never disrespectful or rude. Matter of fact, he invited me out to a couple of hunts that he signed under his new, banner, which was cool. But then you have these other people that as soon as they fold or don't get as much success, or even get a moniker of success, that blow off at the mouth and start just. And that, to me, is just ridiculous. Yeah. None of us should be doing that. We should be the type of people...
Is that why you brought my giant self on the show, so I can just go deal with them?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I want everybody to realize that if you mess with the mighty SP, Big Tony, he's coming for you. Just what happens.
He will be watching.
At least I know my role.
Know your role.
I know my role, but I'm not shutting my hole.
No, you don't have to.
Good.
But that's my thing. So let's touch on that for a quick minute. Para-unity. What are your guys' opinions and thoughts on para-unity? We'll start with you, Tony.
Oh, you're gonna start with me?
Yeah.
I think it's part of making the strength of what we do is by working together and respecting other people's differences and opinions and what they've done. And working together, it makes things stronger because you can work with other teams that have found things out and you can expand on that. And I think overall, it just makes it a stronger group overall.
Do you think para-unity is something that actually exists in the field today, or do you think it's something that we need to work forward to achieve?
I think we need to work for it. I think we live in a society where people are selfish and self-centered. Everybody's out for themselves. They're not here to help anybody else or to work together as a team.
Right.
It's my fame, what I can get out of this, and whoever I have to step on, so be it. And I think that a lot of people too, rather than picking it up a little bit and working a little bit harder, it's easier to point the finger at other people.
Right.
Well, the reason why I'm having such a hard time is because this person left, or that's just kind of how we've become as a society.
And it's kind of ridiculous. Kent, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm going to go along with Tony, and it's been over the last several years. I've noticed the world has switched to a me first, and I mean I see it on Facebook right now or social media altogether. There's other crews out there from across the East Coast that are reaching out to us. Hey, we've got this investigation. What are your guys' tactics that you would do? But then you got this other one over here, like, that's a stupid tactic. Why would you even attempt to do that? Yeah. Have you tried it? Does it work? If you don't know, then shut your pie hole.
Well, that's the big thing, is that people are so quick to jump and be aggressive and attack.
But that's what sells.
And that's what's horrible.
The conflict between people is what is good TV. I haven't had cable in 5 years. That's why. Everything's about conflict, and that's what sells.
For somebody who hasn't had TV for 5 years and is on TV, you actually had a pretty good idea of what's happening in the world, because that's exactly it. The conflict between people is all anybody wants to see.
Yeah.
They want to see, the mighty SP go to war with some other thing, and they don't care about us trying to unify the field. They want to see us try to destroy the field.
Yeah, because that's what sells. Battles, wars sell TV.
Whatever happened to being the guy that sat in your corner beating your drum to your own tune, not worried about anybody else, and just having fun with what you do? Because again, it falls back to what we said last episode. The big key of this is you got to have fun. If it's not fun, nobody wants to be a part of it, period. They just don't. So for me, it's like, whatever happened to that, the mentality of fun. Now it's war, now it's conflict, now it's I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, I've got the new cool FLIR 7000-917, and I can use it better than you. Whatever happened to everybody just being like, okay, well, I got some really cool pictures from this investigation. Check these out. What do you think?
It's about image. I'm one of those kind of guys that walks down the street, and I don't care what people think or see. I am who I am. Everything's about image. And people are so wrapped up when everybody else thinks.
I think me and Chris are the same way. Like walking down the street, you don't like us, well, keep walking.
Yeah, don't talk to us.
Well, and that's been the biggest thing, and that's why I love being able to work with you guys, is because collectively we all have the same idea. If we bring an idea to the table, we don't shut each other's ideas down. We're like, okay, we'll see how that works. We'll roll with it. I mean, you guys sitting here watching the show now, you have no idea how many times we've gone back and forth trying to figure out the best method to do the show. But that's the great thing about working with creative minds, is that everybody pitches in to make that overall best product. And that's the thing I could say about my team and you guys, is that everybody has such a creative mindset, and you guys bring so much to the table that it makes this so easy to be a part of and so much fun that you want to keep doing it. So.
Oh, I'm fun, I know.
Oh, you're tons,
Loads.
like, dude, you're 7 feet of fun.
Well, tons of fun. Let's hold up on that. I don't know about tons of fun.
No fat jokes?
No fat jokes.
Okay, no fat jokes.
I'm working on it, though.
Kent, lastly, I'll ask you, what do we have to do to achieve fair unity?
What do we have to do? Just start with one local group and just keeping the wave going. I mean, as more crews join on with the Para-Unity, then other crews will join on, and if those crews don't want to join on, they can kick rocks.
Lead by example.
That's the bottom line. That's what we've done for 11 years, and why not keep doing it?
So a new crew comes up to us. They come up to you guys. We're all sitting there, we're doing a meet and greet. And they ask, hey guys, how do we be more like you? What do you tell them?
How to be more like me?
How to be more like...
Grow.
Miracle Grow.
Miracle Grow. Hank from the Monkey Bars. It's got to work.
No,
It's on the Brady Bunch.
If they hear about how we do things and the family and the lifestyle that we live doing what we do, what would you tell them as far as them people trying to aspire to be around for 11 years to do what we do?
Just lead by example and bring positive things to the table. It's not going to be bickering and negative, because then you're just going to be like everybody else out there that's kind of ruining things. You've got to work as a unit,
right.
Accept ideas and people's opinions. Doesn't mean that we necessarily have to use them and put them as part of our team, but listen to people's differences, because I'm a firm believer in that you learn your whole life.
Right.
I've always got people that teach me things, and by learning from each other and working together is what's going to change all that. We have to be the exception to the rule.
Right.
And I mean, going along with that, furthermore, if you're going to be a naysayer or the negative one, take people's guidance with it. Mm-hmm. You may have you may be going over a piece of evidence and somebody says, oh, that was this. Don't get offended.
Yeah.
Just simply take it into consideration that we've been doing this a lot longer than you have, per se, and there's other ways to explain what just happened.
Doesn't make it right or wrong, just a different way.
It's just having that ability to accept defeat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not out here to bash you. Don't bash us, because we'll win.
That was totally just negated everything we just
I
discussed.
don't care.
I want you to know that right now.
That's not unity.
But
here's the thing:
if you're gonna come join in with, come up to us and ask us how to be like us, just watch us in action, and you'll actually see. Yeah, we are 8 different people completely in our personal lives, but once we come onto an investigation, we're that unit, and it doesn't matter if we haven't talked in 3 or 4 months. That unit comes together, and we already know, okay, Tony's going to go do this, Chris is going to go do this, and we just go.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the joy of it, and that's another thing that I think that has to bring into, if you're starting a crew, you have to find people that click, because you can't have this happening all the time, because you're not going to get anything accomplished. You have to be, like Ken said, open to ideas, and like Tony said, lead by example. And that's the beauty of this, is that we can all do that together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if crew from Washington wants to come down, I want to work with you guys. I want to do something with you guys. Sweet. You know, and we go on investigation and we don't like how they do things, we're going to be like, hey, this is just how we do them. You know, let's find a compromise. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. And I think that's what brings people together is the idea to be open-minded and, again, like you said, accept the ideas of others. I think it's just a great thing. All right, so in closing, I'm going to ask you guys a question for the week. Okay? I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay, I want you guys to tell me your absolute most scary story in your entire life. The scariest thing that ever happened to you related to the paranormal. I'm going to start with you, Kent, which is the most intense paranormal experience you've had.
When I was a younger kid, I lived up at my grandfather's farm and stayed in a house where the previous house that was there had actually burned to the ground back in the 60s. And a couple of my family members perished in the fire. And on full moon nights, my stepdad would tell me the story that they walk up and down this 2-mile-long gravel road in the dark. And his biggest thing was, go walk this road. I'm 8 years old and an idiot, and I did it. Didn't see him, but you always have that idea that...
just the build-up, the suspense.
I mean, and it's the type of road where the oak trees and stuff make that kind of
that
tunnel
plantation
effect
driveway
over.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's uphill, and there's cliffs on both sides, so it's just like, that was probably the scariest thing, is you always had the feeling of being watched.
Yeah.
Tony, what about you? What's the most intense paranormal experience you've had?
I think the thing that comes to mind the most is in a job that I had, working in a facility, working graveyard, and I was half asleep one night. Just kind of, I was watching an area of the building without too much detail, and I was kind of half asleep. I had been working all day, and something came up and slapped me on the side of the head, and I immediately turned around. That was me. That was a long time ago. You were like 6, I think, at the time.
Probably.
Anyway, slapped me on the side of the head. I turn around, and all I hear is footsteps running off down one of the halls. So I was sitting at like a picnic table. I jumped over the entire table,
So you
ran.
just took a step.
It was a step, yeah. I mean, I had to jump a little bit. And I ended up in the front part of the building in someone's lap, like, I'm not going out there again. But yeah, he like slapped and then took off running like it was a big joke.
That's messed up.
And I could hear laughing and yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah, you got to do your story.
Where's your story?
the scariest story I've had paranormal investigating. Well, let's make this really quick. Local cemetery, 6-night hunt. Night 4, we see 3 shadow figures. We think it's our shadows, so we take a step forward. They move forward. So I'm tailing to the group, my knee gives out, and I feel like somebody smacks you right in the back. I slide through the gravel. I get picked up by a buddy. Kent's kind of clearing the area, doing his magic thing. Runs out of the cemetery, and I have a handprint about this big on my back from something just smacking me down to the ground.
How big was it?
About that big.
Ah.
So with that, all I'm going to say is thank you guys again for tuning into Abnormality. I'm Chris.
Big Tony.
Can't.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a great one.